Shalom and good day, all. This is Healing29 back again for another DC review, and in this DC review I'll be covering Nightwing and Titans. So Nightwing issue 108 and Titans issue 5, both by Tom Taylor. So I'll now get things organised for the first one that I'll be covering. Now, this does have a backstory in it, but I will not be covering the backstory. Instead, I'll be covering the main story. So, jumping into first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Not really at all, to which I give the cover a 6 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle and of course the end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So, as Nightwing is out at sea, we end up encountering a situation to which B's brother of sorts, whether adopted or whatever, Lucas has tried to somewhat sabotage the mission in trying to recover a certain element from the vault. The story continues and we get to see one of her members being shot and killed by her brother, and a somewhat villain wins over his sister and throws her over the edge. So for the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10, as I did quite like the art. Next is moving into the area of the story. So considering how far we are, yes, we did get a comic reference to issue 76. Next is the area of time, to which was not addressed, even though it probably wouldn't hurt to address it in the story. The location, we had no idea where the location was in the story, which was pretty stupid, I must admit. I wouldn't even... If they were smart enough, they could have said 1,000 to 2,000 miles outside of Gotham or outside of Bloodhaven. Something like that, just to give a bit of an indication as to how far Dick Grayson has travelled in this particular story. Last but not least, the cast of characters being Nightwing, B, and last but not least, the character of Lucas. For the overall story rating in this, I give a 6 out of 10. Now it's time to move into Titans issue 5. So, as we begin to move into Titans issue 5, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? In some essence it does, to which I give a 7 out of 10. To which in this one we actually learn who was responsible for the death in issue 1 of Wally West. But I must say the wound does not consistently meet his death. It's the only other way to put it. So for the cover rating for this, I give a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the next part, and that is the internal art, which we'll have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. So as we move into the beginning of the story, we have the Titans finish up everything that is happening in Borneo. As we jump towards the middle of the story, we end up catching up with one of the Swamp Things, as he also helps out in, I guess, the revegetation of the land. And last but not least, finding out a little bit more character about who Brother Eternity could actually be, and might not be who we think it is. So for the internal art, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. In the area of time, we had a day later. Next is the locations, to which we had Borneo, a Mars trophy room of their Titans, and last but not least, New York. the cast of characters consisting, of course, the Titans, Swamp Thing, Linda West, or Linda Park, or whoever it is at the time. Of course, Brother Eternity / Blood, and last but not least, Aqualad. For the overall story rating in this, I give a 6 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.